and welcome to this week's episode of Beyond This, where we talk grounded spirituality for everyday life. If we haven't met before, my name is Matilda. I am a professional psychic medium and spiritual advisor based here in Australia. I come to you every single week with tips and tricks about spirituality, lessons, learnings that can help you in your everyday life. I know many of you listening to today's episode are based in the United States. And I know that many of you are feeling the turmoil of what has happened in Minnesota. I am sending love to all of you. And I am going to talk about that in today's episode, as well as when belief becomes a cage, how spirituality and political identities trap us. And I think it's a good episode to give us understanding, not forgiveness, but understanding as to why many that have commented on what happened to Nicole Renee Good just cannot take their blinkers off. What I will say is, here in Australia, we've had our own set of things that have happened in the last week, which I'll go into. But here in Australia, I very rarely see any social commentary about United States and the division and the, oh my God, these people are stupid expressions. I have seen so much of it. So what I want to say is that you are seen. We are seeing this in different countries. This horrific thing that happened, the horrific shooting, it's making a lot of people globally really stand up and see what you guys have been telling us for years. I do think there is justice to be served. And I don't think it's that far away, but I also think it's going to go up the chain. It's going to affect even Kristi Noem is likely to face either someone suing her or charges against her for misinformation. I just want to put that out there. Here in Australia, we've had a shit week. I spoke at the end of last year about how bad the bushfire season would be, that I was being shown very similar to 2018-19, when we did lose a lot of property and a lot of people, and it was significant. And I spoke about different areas where I saw bushfires burning, and one of those was Tasmania that happened a couple of weeks ago, Perth that happened. And I said that we were probably going to be hit up around the border of Victoria and New South Wales, which has happened. But also I said Central Victoria. Fuck, I wish I was wrong. I can't, I can't explain how horrific it has been. I live in Central Victoria. I'd said last week that I saw the 9th of January being relevant. Did I realise that it was my own backyard that was going to burn to the ground? No. I am safe. My family are safe. I was evacuated for a very short period of time. But it's horrific. What I have done, I've done this over on Patreon. I am going to add the links to the show notes. A lot of people have asked me, what can they do to help? How can they help? So I'm going to add 4 links that I have for GoFundMe's, for different charities. There is 4 volunteers, CFA volunteers, who have all lost their homes whilst they were off fighting fires. I don't know that people actually realise that the Country Fire Authority in Victoria is made up of volunteers. These people are unpaid. I think they get a discount or they get free housing rates, but they do this purely voluntarily. And whilst they were off fighting fires, they They lost their own homes, and a town called Harcourt, which is very close to where I am. And I looked at a house, I looked at several houses in that area because it was an area I was thinking about buying in when I was looking at this place last year. And I decided it was too far away from my kids. It's just such a beautiful little town, like tiny little town. It's got a general store and that's it. But yeah, if you can give, please do. If you can't, please do not feel guilty. Your good thoughts and wishes are enough. Yes. As always, predictions at the end of the episode, and this week you got to listen to them. It's spicy. There is a meditation towards the end, but today's episode is all about when belief becomes a cage and how spiritual and political identities can trap us. There's something I've been thinking about this a lot, especially getting angrier and angrier reading people's responses. And I know there's a lot of bots out there, but there's also a lot of stupid people. And I have been looking at that. There's something I've been thinking a lot about lately, and it's something I've been seeing everywhere in politics, in spirituality, in the wellness culture, in social media, in how people talk about themselves or show themselves. It's the quiet moment where a belief stops being something you hold and becomes something that holds you. At first, beliefs are meant to help us understand the world. They give us frameworks, language, meaning, and direction. But there's a tipping point. And when we cross it, belief turns into identity. And once that happens, truth becomes dangerous. Because when something is just belief, you can update it. When something is your identity, you have to defend it, even when it hurts you, even when it hurts others. It's belief versus identity. A belief is something you think. An identity is something you are. And that difference is becoming apparent everywhere. If I say I believe this, I can change. If I say I am this, I must protect. Beliefs can be wrong. Identities can't, because identities are tied to our survival. Your nervous system doesn't experience identity as an idea. It experiences it as you. So when an identity is threatened, the body reacts like it's under attack. That's why people don't just disagree anymore. They actually feel endangered. And that's how conversations turn into wars, why humans cling to identity. Humans don't actually crave truth. We crave certainty. Certainty makes the nervous system feel safe. Uncertainty feels like danger. So when the world becomes unstable, politically, economically, emotionally, people don't seek nuance. They seek something solid, something that says, this is who you are. This is who the good people are. This is who the bad people are. And this is what reality means. It might be a political movement. It might be a spiritual path. It might be a guru, a theory, a conspiracy, or a community. But what it gives them is not information. It gives them orientation. And orientation feels like safety. At first, belief feels liberating. You finally get it. You finally feel like you belong. You finally feel like you understand what's going on. But slowly something shifts. You stop asking, is this true? And start asking, does this protect who I am? Evidence that supports the identity is welcomed. Evidence that challenges it is rejected. And suddenly the belief is no longer something you use. It is something that uses you. That's when you stop being conscious and start being loyal. This is how cult thinking forms. People think cults are about charismatic leaders or weird rituals. They're not. They're about identity. A cult is any system where belonging requires you to stop thinking, where loyalty matters more than truth, where questioning feels like betrayal. And this doesn't just happen in religious cults. We are seeing it happen in political movements, wellness communities, spiritual groups, online fandoms, and social identities. Anywhere the group becomes more important than reality. Why people defend the indefensible. This is something a lot of people struggle to understand. Why are people defending leaders who lie? Why do they excuse cruelty? And why are they justifying harm? It's not because they don't see it. It's because admitting it would mean losing who they think they are. Once your identity is tied to a belief system, changing your mind doesn't just mean being wrong. It means I was fooled. I supported something that is harmful, and I need to rebuild who I am. And that feels unbearable. So instead, people protect the identity. They rewrite reality. Spiritual identity is especially dangerous. Spiritual spaces are practically vulnerable to this. Because spirituality deals with meaning, purpose, destiny, and belonging. People build identities around being awakened, chosen, guided, spiritually special, and on the right side of history. And once that identity forms, anything that threatens it feels like darkness, negativity, and attack. I've seen this with the 5D community. I've seen it with those that believe in ETs are the ones they're receiving the messages from. But this is how abuse gets ignored and manipulation gets reframed. Harmful leaders stay in power. Because the group's story becomes more important than the truth. Identity-based spirituality and political thinking shrinks you. One of the most subtle traps is when ego disguises itself as truth or spiritual truth. When someone says to you that they are better, that they are more evolved, I see what others don't. I am protected. My guides told me. These statements feel elevated and they create hierarchy. They turn spirituality into identity. And once that happens, humanity disappears. And humanity is what keeps us safe. The same pattern is everywhere, whether it's MAGA, QAnon, a church, a cult, or a spiritual influencer. The structure is the same. There is a chosen group, an enemy, a story about righteousness, a leader or ideology, and a demand for loyalty. Not because the belief is fragile, but because the identity is. The antidote to this is not having the right beliefs. It's having flexible minds. It's about being able to say, this helped me once, but I'm allowed to evolve. It's letting beliefs be tools, not uniforms. It's choosing curiosity over certainty. Because the moment your identity becomes rigid, your mind closes. And when your mind closes, fear takes over. And fear is where manipulation lives. You are not your beliefs. You are a consciousness that experiences them. You are a consciousness that is meant to grow. Beliefs should guide you, not cage you. We're going to do our Patreon shout-outs now and talk a little bit about what's going on in Matilda's world and what you can be a part of. And then I'm going to talk about MAGA and the identity trap that we are seeing online and what is really riling so many people, including myself. And I want to give you some tips and tools and some understanding so that at least you're not getting so angry with them and you can understand why they behave the way they do. Doesn't mean to say they're not responsible or we can't dislike them, but the anger that we are all feeling towards them and their mindset is dividing everyone more. And I don't want you to feel angry all the time. Certainly don't want you to experience my last week where I have gotten angrier and angrier and angrier at these idiots. So we are busy over on Patreon at the moment. There's lots going on. We're currently working on our newest tier, which is Connected. Connected is all about learning to listen to your guides, the difference between your intuition and your guides. Our second open circle is happening at the end of the month. You can find that by going into the calendar section. This is an ongoing open circle where we're learning to develop. I'm hoping to start a chat going where people can tee up with each other to practice their intuition and their guidance and practice on each other. I've just put a new exercise up, which is how to differentiate between your guides and your ego. It's not the full story, it's just teaching you those first steps. We want to do this slowly to ensure that you have a firm understanding and you can take this into the rest of your life with you. We've also got our magnificent manifestors tier where we're doing a 28-day challenge on our self-concept and how we view our self-concept. Self-concept is the basis of manifesting. Believe it or not, it is all about you being open to receiving rather than demanding receiving and being open to what comes your way. And a self-concept is the basis of that. Coming up, I have a 15-person evidential mediumship event. Everyone gets a reading during that event. The link is in the bio. I've also got my large group, 75-person evidential mediumship event in, I did say it was the 31st of February. No, it's the 28th of February. Even I know even in Australia, we have 28 days in February. It's the 1st of March, my neck of the woods, 28th of February, your neck of the woods. It is a great way for you to experience evidential mediumship. Not everyone gets a reading, but you are part of the crowd, part of the community, and you'll learn a lot in that event. So that's what's going on at the moment. There are some readings available for April, not a lot. April is it's moving pretty quickly. If you want to book your reading, either just a psychic reading or a mediumship reading, I would do so now. Do not forget that if you are a Patreon member, you get some nice, juicy discounts. But yeah, we've got some new members. So Michaela, Christina, Kathy, Alyssa, Essa Blue, what a pretty name. Shelby, Jose Laranga, Jennifer Morris, Elizabeth. Carol has joined for 12 months. Don't forget you get good discounts if you join for 12 months. Lupa, a whole lot of Nen has joined Connected for a whole year. Fantastic. Laura Beth, Amy, May, Sarah, Jackie, and Jar and Samantha. You guys rock. Thank you for joining. Please open the calendar. You will see everything that we've got going on this month. And I think this weekend coming, we've got a coffee morning. Coffee mornings are great. If you can, pop into the coffee morning. The Zoom link will be put up for everyone. I think it's $15 and up gets to come to the coffee morning. You get to have a chat with me. I answer spiritual questions and current affair questions. So I look forward to seeing you all there. This week has been a really tough week in the United States with the unlawful killing of Nicole Renee Good, who was simply, well, she was with her partner. They were there, like many, many thousands of people, to spot ICE, to record them, to do whatever they were doing. And in no world does it justify her death. I have become increasingly angry at the people, and a lot of them are bots, but there's still a lot of stupid people saying things like, if she'd have just moved her car, if she hadn't have been there. All right, Sparky, if you think you can justify a shot at her, justify the second and third shot, justify him calling her a fucking bitch. I said this on live and I've said it on my Patreon. I believe that man was under the influence of some sort of drug. And he was certainly angry at something that had nothing to do with them. The fact that they are trying to gaslight the world into believing that she drove her car into him and that she was responsible for her death and that he was in hospital, etc., is disgusting. I'm going to talk about the MAGA cult in depth in a moment, because like last week and the stuff that I'm seeing about around spiritual cultism that disturbs me, the MAGA cult disturbs me too. But before I do that, I want to say that a lot of people are seeing through what is going on at the moment, and that will come to light. A lot of people are turning against the Republican Party, and that is coming to light, even Trump's own people. We are going to see Kristi Noem face charges, impeachment definitely, and I think that she could be arrested publicly. So that's something to look forward to. One of the reasons the MAGA movement is so hard for people to understand is because it's operating like. One of the reasons the MAGA movement is so hard for people to understand is because it isn't operating like a political ideology anymore. It's operating like an identity. Political beliefs are meant to be flexible. You argue about policy, you vote, you change your mind. But MAGA crossed the line where being MAGA stopped meaning I support a political platform and started meaning this is who I am. Once that happened, the brain stopped processing information in a normal way because you are no longer protecting ideas. You are protecting your sense of self. That's why evidence doesn't matter. That's why court cases don't matter. That's why footage, testimony, and documents do not matter. To accept any of it would mean something far more terrifying than being wrong. It would mean I was fooled. I supported something harmful. I built my identity on something that clearly wasn't true. The human psyche will almost do anything to avoid that level of collapse. So instead, reality gets rewritten. In cult psychology, this is called identity fusion, when a person's personal identity becomes fused with a group or a leader. When that happens, attacks on the group feel like attacks on yourself. That's why MAGA supporters don't respond with curiosity. They respond with rage. Not because they're evil, but because their nervous systems are in survival mode. And this is why MAGA behaves like a cult. There is a chosen leader. There is a chosen in-group. There is obviously an enemy. And there is a narrative of persecution. There is a belief that only they see the real truth. And anyone who questions it is labeled as brainwashed, corrupt, evil, and the one that's really hurtful, woke. That isn't politics anymore. That is cult psychology. And the more dangerous things about cults isn't that people believe strange things. It's that once identity takes over, people lose the ability to care who gets hurt, as long as the story stays intact. Many of us are witnessing that. Many of those on an international scale are now witnessing that. You are seen. Those of you that are getting angry at what MAGA are doing, those of you that are feeling as if they are talking to a brick wall, you are, in fact, talking to brick walls. Before I jump into this week's predictions and talk about predictions that I've made in the past that have happened, I want to do a focus meditation. Many people are complaining that they're really struggling with their focus, that their mind will wander, that they'll start thinking bad things. And I want to just do this just so that it does help you a little bit. As always, if you are driving, please wait until you have stopped to be able to do this meditation. Take a slow, deep breath in through your nose and a long, slow breath out of your mouth. Let your shoulders soften. Let your jaw release. Let the weight of the day begin to fall away. You don't need to do anything right now. You don't need to be anyone. Just be here. Take another slow breath in and gently exhale. Feel the surface beneath you. The chair, the bed, the floor. Let gravity hold you. Now bring your attention to your breathing. In and out. In and out. With every breath out, let a little more tension leave your body. Feel into the center of your chest. There is a steady, calm presence there. This is you beneath your roles, beneath your beliefs, beneath your stories. Just awareness. If you notice any tension in your body, send the breath there. Let it soften. Let it loosen. Imagine your mind becoming still, like a quiet lake. Thoughts may ripple to the surface, but beneath them, there is calm. You are not your thoughts. You are not your worries. You are not your concerns. You are the space they move through. Rest there. And when you are ready, gently bring your awareness back into the room. Take one final slow breath in and gently exhale. Let's talk what I've been shown for the coming months. There is a lot, and I am loath to attach timing because the reality is I'm seeing a lot of things that I predicted in 2023, and 2024 coming in right now. Now, is that because I'm a crap psychic? No. It's because there is no timing in spirit and there is no way of knowing that what I saw for January 2024 or 2025 was for that time period. And because they're very specific predictions, I don't think that there is a caveat on timeline for these things to happen. I spoke about Venezuela falling over 12 months ago, and we saw that happen. On that note, I got a download this week where I was shown that the president and his wife knew that this was happening. I do feel that there was a hand yourself in or be arrested. They didn't know when, but they knew. I also saw when I've talked about bushfires in the last couple of months, I've talked about areas and I've been pretty spot on with those areas. So please pay attention when I am talking about location. Just because it hasn't happened immediately doesn't mean to say it's not going to happen. I talked about Tasmania having significant bushfires. That happened, I think it was before Christmas. I talked about Western Australia having significant bushfires. That happened before Christmas. I talked about floods in Queensland. That happened in January. I talked about central Victoria being hit by significant bushfires. I live in central Victoria. Do you think that I listened? No, I did not. Do you think I had a go bag ready? No, I did not. Do you think I was prepared? No, I was not. I talked about that on social media, how I list all the things that I think that you are going to need over the coming years as we move into significant climate change, significant efforts by different military organizations, etc. And the food shortages that were coming in and are still coming in supply chain shortages. And I paid no attention to any of it. I did, but I moved house and I wasn't organized. So please get organized. There are parts on my Patreon that go through the list of things that you need. So, yes, we were hit in central Victoria. I also talked last week about the 9th of January being significant, and I didn't know why. I just kept getting the 9th of January, the 9th of January. I didn't know it was going to be in my own backyard. Did I know that half of central Victoria would burn? No, I did not. I need to pay more attention. Anyway, what I have got coming in is I feel like there is going to be an imminent announcement about the movement of the World Cup. I talked about that being cancelled in my 2026 predictions, and I feel that it may even take place in Mexico. They have the infrastructure to move things at short notice. Could be some of it, could be all of it. I just want to flag Mexico. I feel like Trump. I feel like they're going to bomb Iran really soon. I want to be wrong about that, but I do feel that it's imminent. Could even be over this coming weekend, which is what, the 18th, 19th. And I do feel the Iranian regime is going to fall. But I saw that a year ago, and I feel like it's imminent now. I'm not even sure that the Iranian, though the leaders are there. I'm going to flag the 20th of January as a very, very 20th or 21st, depending on which neck of the woods you are. It feels like a really relevant date. I have been shown it so many times. There is a significant world event on that day. It's almost like the world will never be the same after that day. But I do not know what it is. I am being shown a London bus, not connected to the 20th, so don't panic. I feel like there is a significant incident involving central London or a London bus. I do feel like we're going to get news regarding Prince Charles really soon. There's a feeling of he wants to go to Scotland. He wants to be in Scotland. You will know that he's passing or ready to pass when he doesn't want to leave Scotland, because I do believe that's where he wants to pass. I don't know. I'm going to say April, May with King Charles. If I called him Prince Charles before, I apologise. He is the king now. News in Australia regarding actually, I think there's 2 leadership challenges, maybe even 3 coming up really soon. Like, it just feels end of January right through February is leadership challenges. Australia, the United Kingdom, New Zealand, USA, could even be other countries as well. But I do need to flag that. I want to flag a significant passing connected to Ireland. I feel like it's an actor, a writer, a musician. It's connected to Ireland, and it's significant. And when I say significant, I mean it's going to make national or international news. I'm going to leave it there for this week. Before I go, I want to reiterate that I have been shown, I talked about this on my Patreon. I've made a Patreon post very recently about other stuff that I've seen coming in, but I have been shown that the chain of command when it comes to ICE are going to face mass legal issues. Like, it's going up the chain. And Kristi Noem is definitely under pressure. I think that she may well even be kicked out because of this. Trump may try and save himself by sacking her. Trump's health is definitely getting worse. I saw him slurping. I saw a video of someone showing him slurping, which is a key indicator that their swallow reflex is getting less and less. He may even choke. Oh, yeah, and his wandering happened. I think I talked about that last week, the wandering. He went for a wander. Anyway, guys, that is it. Please take care of yourself. Let me know where you're listening to me. Where are you listening to me? Are we off for a walk? Are we at work? Are you doing the shopping? Are you escaping the children? Have you hidden yourself in the laundry? Where are you? I will be back on next week. I'm going to try and do a live on TikTok this week. My coffee morning for Patreon is next weekend or this weekend coming. Keep an eye out for my live evidential mediumship groups. I have 2 sizes, one of 15 and one of 75. Take care.